The dog just refused to eat the stinky food. The old man whipped it hard with a hose. The dog let out a miserable cry and wanted to run away in fear. However, the old man felt it wasn't enough. He pulled the chain to drag the dog back and threw it heavily to the ground. The dog didn't dare to resist at all. When the old man picked up the shovel, it was scared and quickly hid in the doghouse. But the old man didn't stop there. He grabbed the chain and threw it hard on the ground again. The dog was panicked at this time. He quickly hid in the corner, begging the old man to let him go. The cruel old man but sprayed him with cold water. But the dog didn't dodge. He was afraid that if he hid, he would be beaten harder. The dog curled up against the wall, shivering. He didn't know what he had done wrong, and he didn't know when this day would end, and how long could he hold on. The chain locked him firmly. He couldn't escape the old man's clutches. He could only lie on the ground and cry helplessly, with fear and despair in his eyes. According to the description of the neighbor aunt, the old man wanted to save the dog's food expenses. Every day he would rummage through the trash for food scraps, and then took it back to feed the dog. The food in the trash can has been rotting for a long time, and it has gone bad. Not to mention eating. Even ordinary people feel sick and want to vomit. The old man's abuse of the dog was not just that. The old lady said the old man has been abusing the dog for over a year, and even heard the dog screams in the middle of the night. And the dog seems to have been used to the abuse, seems to have become accustomed to it. After the rescue team learned about the situation, they kindly persuaded the old man. But the old man's tone was very tough, saying that he could do whatever he wanted with his dog, and no one can interfere. The old man's behavior made the neighbors very dissatisfied. In fact, they had reported for help. But there was no direct evidence to prove his abuse. The police couldn't do anything about it. So the police could only handle it as a disturbance, and the dog lived in a nightmare all day. So the rescue team secretly installed cameras nearby to record the old man's various crimes. What no one expected was that the old man suddenly took out a knife from his pocket and waved it at the dog. This behavior made everyone gasp. The dog shrank aside and looked very scared. Then it quickly ran to the old man and wagged its tail constantly, hoping to avoid a beating. The old man took a knife, scratched the dog's fur, worried that the old man would do something extreme. The rescue team hurried to stop him, but the old man was calm, saying he was just helping the dog groom its fur. But who uses a knife to trim their dog's fur? The rescue team had to call the police and released the video. Hearing this, the old man was instantly angry and accused the rescue team of violating his privacy and denied the fact that he abused the dog, and the onlookers and the crowd condemned the old man's dishonesty and viciousness. The police told the old man that intentionally hurting animals would be prosecuted. Hearing this, the old man finally felt scared and no longer swaggered as before. Under the pressure of the crowd and the police, the old man finally agreed to the rescue team's request and gave up the right to feed the dog. Then the dog was taken to the hospital for examination. But the situation was very bad. Due to the long-term abuse by the old man, the dog's hind legs were fractured in many places, and it could hardly stand normally. The detailed report shows that the dog had multiple self-healing fractures. It was injured again and again, and long-term lack of nutrition also caused the dog's endocrine system were fractured. Almost every part of its body was injured. It's hard to imagine how scared and helpless the dog was at that time. After a period of treatment, the dog's body gradually recovered. The rescue team also found it a new family. It stayed in the arms of the aunt obediently and seemed satisfied with the new family and felt warmth it had never felt before. After the new owner took the dog home, he cooked chicken rice for the dog himself. It no longer had to eat the stinky food in the trash can, and he didn't have to worry about being abused and beaten. And in the backyard, it has its own warm nest in the backyard. The dog's personality gradually became cheerful. Sometimes it's not that the old have gone bad, but the bad people have grown old. At a respected age, they do something that goes against morality. If you don't love, please don't hurt.